Hi, I'm Tamra Davison from Davison Orchards, third generation farmer, and my wife Tamra here with me. It's our 90th anniversary at Davison Orchards, and I think that makes you a bit nostalgic or something, because we thought we'd just share a bit of our story with you. So I was very fortunate to grow up right here on the farm in the Bella Vista. Went to school here in Vernon, and what a great way to grow up as a young boy. Lots to do, and if you were a Davison kid, there was also lots of work to do. So my folks worked super hard on the farm. They were the second generation, of course, and we followed suit. As kids, we had a lot of fun, obviously. There was lots of great times, but we also learned to work, and my parents made sure that we learned to work. I always loved the farm, and so when I got past high school, and I headed off to agriculture college to see where that would lead me.
College is when I came into the picture. I was never going to marry a farmer, but I soon learned never say never. I've met Tom, and sometimes when you meet the right guy, you just change your mind. So there you go. I took fashion design, and Tom took crop management. And when I met Tom, I didn't know where Vernon was. I didn't know what an apple tree looked like. I knew apples grew on trees, but that was about the extent of my knowledge on orcharding.
In 1979, Tamra and I both graduated from college and were soon married, and I was fortunate to get a job in the tree fruit industry right away as a horticulturist for a local co-op packing house.
I worked for Winman's, which was a huge furniture and home decor store, so I was their interior decorator and their merchandiser. So I got a little bit of experience that helps me with that today.
Was enjoying working in horticulture, but I really wanted not to be an advisor, but to really be hands-on and be farming. So I leased some orchards for a few years, but after a few years of working for the packing plant, we decided we really wanted to be farming on our own. That actually freaked out my parents a little bit, because they had just struggled to make a living growing apples and hauling them to a packer, and the thought of us leaving good jobs and coming to the farm full-time was a little overwhelming for them. But they were very gracious, and they said, if you're coming in, then we're going to be partners, and that was the way it was. Off we went. And of course, there really wasn't much money coming in from the fruit, so we were starting to try to be creative, and that was when the idea of growing a lot of different crops, fruit, and as well as a lot of different vegetables came into being, and the whole idea of let's see if we could sell it ourselves direct to the consumer.
So my passion always was marketing and merchandising, and I couldn't grow anything on the farm. I hardly could keep a houseplant alive. So it actually worked out good that Tom had green thumbs, and actually most of his family did. And I took on the job of marketing and merchandising. So before we knew it, we had 3 more kids, and 3 girls and a boy, and the journey continued.
You know, farming is not a fast process, so we were in the throes of changing apple varieties so that we had more variety of fruit for the customers when they came. When we were hauling to the packing house, we mostly just grew Macintosh, but now we quickly had 15, 20 different varieties of apples. But I say quickly, but it all takes time to get them grafted and in production in the orchard, and then to try and figure out how to sell them. And that was definitely where Tamra came in, because she was the one who was creating atmosphere and making it a fun place for people to come.
So not only did we diversify our kinds of apples, but we also grew a lot of vegetables. Tomatoes were really good for us in those first years, and they helped us be able to get some cash flow and plant more apple trees. Favorite thing to grow was green peppers, and I think it still is.
Yeah, I do enjoy growing the different vegetables. We say now we're diversified to the point of insanity, and that's quite true, but everything from, of course, from pumpkins to watermelon to the tomatoes and sweet corn. But those crops were all fabulous for us because they gave us a chance to create some cash flow to make the finances work to keep the family going.
So little by little we introduced other things like a kids play area and a bakery, and we started making our own fresh pressed apple juice. We hosted tons of different events, and we did all kinds of crazy promotions like grow your own pumpkin and all kinds of scarecrow making things and all sorts of things. And before you knew it, we had a circus on our hands.
And the community was just super amazing at supporting us. People were very, very encouraging. And we're on a dead end road and we're a little bit out of town, so people had to make quite a bit of an effort to come up to our farm. But I just really appreciate all those folks that faithfully came and supported us. And even today, people come and say, I'm bringing my grandkids now, and I came here on a school tour when I was little. Makes me feel old, but it's really fabulous just to have had that support literally over generations.
It really does warm your heart to have that local support. And then we've extended our reach to Alberta and actually all across Canada, but our locals have stuck with us and supported us, and that's been amazing.
And it makes it fabulous because it has given us the opportunity to build a business that is sustainable for another generation. And you're going to hear a little more from them, but the start that we had is really the backbone, the diversification to creating a business that enables the next generation to get involved. And they don't have to necessarily be farmers. Fortunately, some are farmers, but we need people that are able to help us on the retail side and on the production side in the bakery. And of course, we make apple juice. Like, there's a lot of different preserves, and all those things take different skill sets. So it's really fun to be able to involve a lot of different family and an amazing staff. We went from all working together, packing the fruit, peaches or whatever, and our kids would be in a bin that are supposed to be for apples, and that became playpens. And our kids, when they were little, were literally in an apple bin beside us when we were packing. So it's a pretty fun way to raise your kids.
I can remember the crazy sign outside the farm market that said "Honk" for service, because Dora and I would basically man the market while you and Dad were out growing different crops and work in the orchard and work in the vegetable field. And literally we'd wait for that honk and then we'd run back out.
I really can't say enough about my folks, because they just have supported us all through a lot of changes that are all right in their yard. They still live in the same house that I grew up in, right in the middle of the market area. And they just have been super supportive and worked so hard. And there's kind of a joke in the family that if you left my dad there long enough, he'd give the whole farm away. But back in the day when we were starting, he was handing out apples to people and cantaloupe and sweet corn, and lots of people still come and talk about that. Oh, I remember your dad giving me this and giving me that, and my folks have been amazing.